climate change had led to rising sea levels, shrinking mountain glaciers, ice melting at a faster rate than usual and at normal weather patterns.
In America, we have experienced more intense wildfires and hurricanes, which have displaced many of people and animals.
Climate change also impacts us at community and individual levels.
For example, maybe you or someone you know had to move because of an extreme weather event like a flood or a hurricane.
Or you may have noticed it was hotter in your neighborhood than usual, which made it harder to be outside.
The impact of these events, whether large or small, can have an effect on our physical and mental well-being.
Hello, and welcome to our third There Is No Planet B podcast presented by the Valentine Keystone Lions. Thank you for taking the time to listen in as we partake in discussions surrounding climate change and how it is not only affecting our natural world, but the personal world of teens. My name is Jonathan, and joining us today we have Christian,
Yo.
Valerie,
Hi.
Aaron,
Hello?
Nigel,
Yes.
Norman,
Yeah.
Samantha,
Hi.
and special guest Rachel.
Hey.
All right, welcome everyone. Hello, 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 and welcome to our third podcast.
Woohoo.
I see what you
Yeah.
did there. I like that Nigel over there. And I'm
Right.
I'm keeping you guys, on your toes, right?
Thank you for that.
Norman was
Yeah.
getting ready to do his intro when it was not his time.
I know.
Man, Christian stole my first intro. I was going to say, yo.
another one.
That has nothing to do with it.
It
First
has
place.
everything.
It's not my fault. I said yo before you.
All right,
Light
so
skins.
for today's topic, we will be discussing our feelings about our changing environment. So with that being said, I'm going to pose the first question, and that is, does climate change worry you?
Yes. I'm pretty sure a lot of us can agree, at least. It's a little concerning.
If
More
it's not
than a
con-
little.
If it's not concerning, it's inconvenient.
Yeah, I'd say so. It's
It's,
Very
it's extremely inconvenient.
Like
Wait, how
it's
is it-
April and it's cold.
Why do you say inconvenient?
Yeah.
Because there's, you know how like when it was getting warmer, people were like, oh, summer's going to happen, spring's happening early, let me get all my summer clothes because, there's storage and stuff. And now it's like, 30 degrees? And they're all like still in shorts and t-shirts.
So killing the earth is just an inconvenience.
I'm not saying
it's not a concern.
It's
I don't think
both.
that's-
Both.
I
Yeah,
do not
that's
think
what I
Because it's an
thought.
inconvenience, it's a huge concern.
Right.
It's not just like...
We weren't saying that the earth dying was an inconvenience, but like climate change.
Nowhere to live.
I'm saying people that don't...
It is an inconvenience,
Yeah.
but I don't think that's what he
I'm saying people that don't care about it. Like, the people that's not concerned about it, it's more inconvenient to them.
Yeah, because of this inconvenience, it will make them care. But that shouldn't be the primary thing why
Right.
they should
Right.
care.
We've-
But
We've talked about this.
it's just how people are.
Big brain.
Yeah.
Self-preservation, that's the third time saying it.
Yeah.
That must be your favorite line.
It all just ties back to it.
So you had mentioned like wardrobe, right? Like people like wardrobe changing,
Yeah.
summertime coming up. So like what other changes are you noticing in your neighborhood, daily lives, social lives? What is going on?
I've noticed that now I don't really need to go outside with a winter coat anymore. I can just throw on a hoodie and I'll be fine.
Yeah.
So I don't need the heavy winter stuff anymore. But it does rain a lot now. So
Wait, you go outside?
yes, yes, Nigel, I go outside.
I don't know. It's just difficult to gauge the weather now because, you go out in the morning, it's jacket weather, and then 2 hours later, you
It's
need
hot.
shorts. And it's changing so quickly in the span of a day that I don't know. It's worrying, because it wasn't that big of an issue even a few years ago, but now that it's an issue, it's or now that I notice it more, it's scarier, I guess.
That's why I
That's
want to go back
Chicago
to
weather.
Puerto Rico. It's always hot there.
Watch you get snow in Puerto Rico. Like,
day
Oh
that
my
happens-
God. Global warming.
The day that happens,
And then one of them, they probably have fun with it. Dog, throwing
Right.
snowballs at each other, doing backflips off the
at
house.
first
Yeah,
we'll be worried, then we try to play around with it.
I'm going to be in Texas when ice come out
Oh yeah,
the ceiling
Texas
fan.
got their
Texas
snow.
is
They
a
were
different
so
story.
happy.
Oh my God.
They're like, yay, snow.
They couldn't,
And then it
they
just
couldn't
kept
even
going.
They microwaves. They had to eat cold food.
Yeah, they were cold. They had no heat.
Then the people who had fireplaces, they put their skillet and then started cooking steaks in the fireplace. Talking about we don't need no electricity.
Well,
we
I
going
guess
back in time.
that works.
Country
you know?
bumpkins.
Yeah.
Yeah, but imagine you trying to go like cook a meal, a hard day at work. You trying to turn your light on, your light don't turn on. Then you're depressed. Then you're hungry. After that,
Inconvenience.
So-
Yeah.
yeah. So, Lady Earth dying is
Very important.
for real, please.
Lady.
Meanwhile, in
Lady Earth.
Arizona, they're cooking eggs on the pavement.
Yeah.
They're cooking eggs on the pavement.
Sometimes like
It's
that
that
mean
hot.
you
You
never
never
know.
know.
Hot.
It's that hot.
In Puerto Rico, it gets
As
that
a
hot. in
nutritionist,
certain
I wouldn't
places.
recommend it.
You wouldn't recommend it, but they can. They're just showing that they can
Hey,
do
it's
it.
probably so hot it's gonna kill the germs too.
True.
That's fair.
You can't live in Arizona without air conditioning. That's just
Yeah.
how it is.
You'll die.
You just straight up that.
You need a fan or something.
Not just like air conditioning.
You need
like,
3.
You need it.
You need
Wait.
like 5 of them.
That also brings. I was thinking about this before we started, but like it's not because it's a huge, huge inconvenience. It's very life threatening, because of climate change, it gets really, really, really hot. And last summer, like if you saw the
Oh my
stories,
God.
there were so many elderly people dying from the heat. And
Yeah.
there was a man who died in his armchair because he literally couldn't move because the heat was so bad.
Yeah, my sister and I, we go walking a lot during the summer. We went a lot to go visit Rachel. And a lot of the like days that we went out, we always had to have a huge water bottle, and we had to like go inside and cool off. It was that hot, and it was just like, what was it, Val? Like a 20-minute walk,
Yeah, it would only be about like 15, 20 minutes.
and it was really bad. Like we had to cool off and find somewhere to cool off if we couldn't make it to our house.
Yeah, me and my friends last summer when we were walking around this neighborhood, we had to go to like the community center kind of because like that was the only place that had like air conditioning at the point. It was that hot. It was too hot to stay outside.
And it was so hot. I knew a light skin turned dark skin. Like
You real keen on the
Oh,
life.
boy.
Y'all attacking me, huh?
So,
Yeah, real hyperfixated
so
on
So what used to be like, you know, maybe 4 or 5 times out of the year or during the summer, right, where we'd have like scorching hot weather,
Right.
you know, it seems like it's every day,
Yeah.
which, you know, that's directly, affecting us, right? Whereas indirectly, you know, we see it on the news where Texas is frozen over.
Right. This also goes with the inconvenience part where it's like it's so hot you don't want to go outside anymore. That's the part about people not wanting to go outside anymore,
Don't go to Puerto
because
Rico.
even if you bring a water bottle or do whatever cooling method you have, it probably didn't work, and you were like, I'm sick of this. And then you just went back inside.
See, and then that causes them to use more air conditioning, which causes them to use more like coal, more
money.
power, and
Fossil fuels.
Right, exactly. And that's like it all ties back to convenience. Like obviously we as humans like we can't handle super hot weather, but like the only option for us without killing ourselves or dehydrating ourselves is to stay inside, which causes us to use more fossil fuels, which even contributes more to the problem.
I mean, we can survive hot weather. It's just not
Extreme.
Chicago. It's not.
You.
It's
Yeah.
not
That's
like
just Chicago for you.
Tell
You
that to
never know.
heat stroke. I get heat stroke so much during the summer, it's ridiculous. I got kidney stones last summer because I was dehydrated and I was drinking tons of water.
Don't go
You,
outside.
that's-
then.
Chicago
Fix
is
that.
not usually a very hot place, so I see where that problem comes from. But like me, I'm from Puerto Rico. It's hot all the year long. Like it doesn't affect me as it affects y'all, because it's like I'm used to that.
Okay, so it affects us differently, right? So we talked a lot about Chicago, but what about, do you guys go on vacation anywhere? Have you seen like family spots or maybe like vacation spots that, you know, where you can depend on maybe for spring break you would go and it was nice, it was warm, but now you go and it's like freezing. Have you guys experienced that, or do you know of any places?
My granny, she lives in Florida sometimes, and she kind of goes there because when Chicago's too cold. So I went there probably recently because it was cold here. So I was like, "Ooh, let's go! I'm gonna go to Florida. It's gonna be nice and hot." And it was not what it used to be. I mean, everybody was wearing coats and jackets. I packed shorts and T-shirts. I thought I was gonna get a suntan. It was so cold. It was raining all the time. It just wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah.
happening.
My older sister lives in New York, and usually me and my parents would like go up there and visit her. but like it was not the weather we were like signing up for. It was really cold and windy and rainy. I mean, it's New York, but like we thought like since it was
Yeah.
that time of year, it would have been a bit warmer, but it wasn't.
I mean, Wisconsin wasn't that bad. It was mostly 60s and 70s, and it was rainy most of the time and cloudy, but it would clear up by the afternoon. It was nothing new, and Wisconsin's known for being a little cooler and a little denser. So,
All right, it's getting a little bit off topic here, but I'm not talking about a personal vacation spot that I go to, but because when you think about cold areas, you think Chicago becomes a mix of half and half, but you ever think about how cold Wyoming might get?
oh my God.
Wow.
I've been to
Minnesota?
Wyoming. Oh my God, it
I've
gets
heard
so
stories.
cold.
Highways and trees and boogie monsters and stuff.
It's
You
not
know
only
how
that.
cold it get. It's like negative 18 on a good day.
Imagine
Right.
Canada.
Cold.
And
Me-
like on the other hand, there's like California with like their forest fires like constantly happening now. When like yeah, you would expect California to have like a few forest fires, but like it's been happening a lot more than I would like.
And
I would
Wyoming
like
got
see.
no trees and everything.
Yeah.
Drying up.
You
And
got trees on top of trees. I
Yeah.
ain't thinking about one forest fire in Wyoming as I was born.
Yeah, but you got to remember, like, there's more people that live in
That's
California.
besides the
Yeah.
point. You can get away with it.
But California is like a small country.
Not only that, there's more chemicals in California because there's factories and stuff.
Yeah.
Wyoming, there's not
There's,
a
like,
lot of
nothing.
people there.
Going
Yeah.
back to the cold.
Who's even in
topic,
Wyoming?
People.
Imagine
Well, like
Canada.
10,000 people.
Ranches, a lot of farms are in
3 people.
Wyoming.
Well, you just brought up a good point, right? Like the West Coast has like there's a lot of people, right? But they also store like all that radioactive waste. So we're talking about climate change and possible disturbances to the land. Imagine when eventually that stuff maybe it spills or something, right? That can have a huge impact.
Oh my
on,
gosh, we've had so
on-
many.
on the environment directly, right? So
Yeah.
Now, confuse me, am I wrong? And I don't know distance very well, how I usually know. But isn't California like right there by that land bridge? I know it's like down, but in terms of heat in general, Alaska is cold, but not as cold as it usually compared to. So when you said that California's storing a lot of radioactive
it's in Nevada, I believe.
Nevada,
Yeah.
there you
Was
go.
that the thing with the river where they were like, what was it? I saw something on the news where like there was like they had to evacuate because the
I wouldn't-
pond or river was like filled with something.
I wouldn't doubt it, but I know Nevada has a couple of spots where they like all the radioactive waste from all these facilities. They kind of store it there,
Oh no,
deep underground.
they did nuclear testing in Nevada.
They also do that too.
Okay, so
And
big
bro,
deal.
don't look at it on Google Maps. It's a lot.
So moral of the story, don't live in Nevada. Or
I mean-
California.
Vegas is fine.
Wyoming.
Vegas is fine. Don't look anywhere else except for Vegas.
No
Vegas
hate to our
probably has a lot
Nevadans.
of, light pollution. Vegas, like you said, you brought Las Vegas up. That probably has like a lot of light pollution.
I mean, any city do.
Yeah, but think about it. It's like New York also produces a lot of that, but Las Vegas is mainly a lot of people out at night, casinos, etc.
Yeah, that's another thing. With the light pollution, it also adds to our climate change situation because the light, even though it's light, it still turns into heat no matter what. So that heat will rise and it will have that greenhouse gas effect, which makes it more dangerous than what the sun would bring in because we're not only making artificial light, we're adding to it instead of trying to prevent it.
See,
It
but-
doesn't go anywhere too. It just
Right.
stays there. And then like people complain about not being able to like see the stars and everything, and like that's why because of all
Right.
the light pollution.
But also, like, we need lights because people are driving on the highways in the middle of the night. Some people have to go to work at night. They need to see while they're driving, they need to see while they're working. And I mean, people walk home at night, which isn't always, the best, but it's something they need to stay in the light to stay safe, But it's like a double edged sword. Like, as much as we hate the light pollution, we still need lights. But I think we can find a different way to handle it, especially with like solar panels and stuff. We got all that now.
I would like think because like like the street lights, like especially like in Chicago, they put them so close together when we don't need them that close together. So there's like an abundance of street lights, which just gives more light pollution. And then like we can. There's nothing like you say. There's nothing we can do about it, but like I would say like we can just put less, but like brighter lights, kind of. But we don't need that many.
Half of them don't work.
I know
True.
they're putting in LED lights.
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
They just put
So-
them in near my house, the LED
Yeah,
lights.
They're putting
Yeah.
them. right
They're
now.
switching them out slowly but surely.
They're really, really bright.
Oh my God,
So like we don't need
yes.
all of
They
the like
can-
street lights like in one area. If they all have like those LED lights, then it's like super bright.
I
Right.
think they should skip 2 at a time because it's
Yeah.
that bright that it goes that far.
And especially if it's bright like that, that's gonna mess with like nature, right?
Right.
Like, they're so
Yeah.
maybe like the lights now, they're not as bright, but animals have adjusted to it. Now you bring in a bunch of like LEDs that are super bright, that can really throw off the clock of some animals, birds, whatever is living in your
I
neighborhood.
didn't even think about that.
Then you got birds at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
tweet, tweet.
And I would
Oh,
like
the
think
sun's
about
up.
like the suburbs kind of because like if you go out there you can like kind of see all of the stars and all that, but like there's like significantly less light pollution like in the areas where they don't have that many like lights there. So
But then driving is like way harder.
yeah, but like suburbs are like very dangerous. Like
Yeah,
in the
that's
night, don't do that. But
Don't drive in the night at the
I would say like you would see like there's like alternatives and
What's
then
bad
there's like
about
the
the suburbs?
downsides always.
I still believe that it's equal to pollution because they gotta use their cars everywhere.
Oh,
They gotta go
yeah.
to
Yeah.
stores and stuff. It's
They can't just walk down the street like we can.
exactly.
Take one step forward, 2 steps back. Like it's kind of like that kind of thing. Like you take away one thing, but then you get more stuff from another like source.
Yeah, especially in the country because everything is so far away. You gotta
Right.
drive. Like you have no choice. It's not like you can walk 16 miles to the nearest town.
Right.
Like there's nobody there.
Right. Like you don't even know what's there. What's the point? But like I don't know. There's just so much that goes into this, and that's why it sucks so bad. Like there's so much that we like the cars are necessary in some living areas, but like there needs to be something done about those necessities so that they become more green, if that makes sense. Like the
I-
CTA buses they're doing right now.
Yeah. And I also feel that climate change is super big for our future generation as well because there could be smarter people in the future that can figure these problems out. We're doing our best that we can at the moment, but we need this to stay alive and stay happening because we just need that extra brain power because there could be somebody who has it that doesn't now. Like it's just that chance that we're taking.
So I'm gonna throw kind of a loaded question at everyone, all right? And we'll go around the table, and you can answer it in the way that you want to. So the first question is: if thinking about climate change makes you stressed, what do you do to reduce? How do you reduce that stress? And the follow-up question to that would be: what is one thing that gives you hope about climate change in the future and it getting better or society contributing to?
You see, like Val said, maybe in the future there'll be smarter people that can contribute to helping and like decreasing climate change. But at the end of the day, we gotta do our part now, so they can it's not as bad when they come and try to help. That's how I look at it.
So you deal with the stress knowing that smart people are kind of handling the problem now.
I mean, it's no stress towards me because I don't know how to explain it, but it's like I don't look at climate change like that. You feel me? Don't pay attention to it that as much as I should. I mean, I still do my part. I recycle what I can. I throw garbage in the garbage can as much as I can. I'm trying to do my part, but it's not stressing to me, which is I don't know if it's bad, but it's just not toward it doesn't affect me.
Kind of stresses me out that people are just not caring. Especially, I'm a very big animal person, and for the animals, I'm hurt and offended for them. And those animals that are going extinct, that's going to be us soon if we don't do anything. So if we don't do anything now, like Christian said, we're done for. And I was just talking in biology with my teacher, and he said we're getting very close to that tipping point. It's like where you're sitting back on a chair, and it's that point that you can't go back and you're going to fall. We're hitting that point, and I'm worried that while we're trying to prevent that point, we're gonna get there, and I might still be alive, you guys might still be alive, and our future children. Like, if we have children, if we decide to have a family of our own. Like, now that's their problem. We don't want to do that, especially because we know that they're going to be in our lives and part of us. But what I do to de-stress about it is knowing that I, myself, and I know millions and probably a billion other people are also stressed about it for that reason, maybe another reason, but they're definitely going to try and do something about it. And scientists are working their butt off right now trying to think of things.
Find a solution.
And I trust scientists. Because they know the basis, and they're like, different people have different outlooks, and we have pretty bright minds in America. Not just in America, and it's just around the world. So
Plus, they're trained in that specific field instead of naysayers who don't know what they're talking about. But that's just my opinion.
exactly. So that's why I'm just not too stressed, but I'm still a little stressed.
Yeah, I'm also kind of stressed about it. Like Val said, like, we have to think about, like, the people in the future, like, whether we decide to have kids or not. Like, we still have to think about them, like, because it's still Earth. It's, like, still our planet. So, like, I'm still getting nervous about it. But, like, something that helps me, like, you know, gives me hope about it is that, like, more people are now worried about climate change than they were, like, before. Like, and you can kind of see that because, like, a lot more people are, like, concerned now. You can see, like, all over the social medias and, like, the news and all that. People are, like, actually concerned, and it's, like, bringing other people awareness about it. And, like, then they're trying to help. So then more people are coming on and, like, you know, giving their 2 cents and, like, spreading the word about it so other people can be informed.
And when I think about weather, the way I distress, become unstressed about a situation is when I think about weather, I think of it as a cause-effect situation because something won't happen without the other. Say, for example, a lot of like precipitation gathered in clouds, then therefore it might rain, or a lot of heat will build up in a certain place, and just like a balloon, it might not hold it for that long, and it just might go everywhere, making the whole area hot. And what I hope for is how meteorologists read the cloud patterns and certain temperatures in the area, but also put in cause effect because, like I said, for something to happen, something had to cause it. So if you get a lot of rain in the area, just try to figure out what happened other than, okay, the temperature this way, clouds spinning this way, and a lot of stuff like that.
I mean, it does stress me a lot, and like Val said, we're getting to that tipping point where once we hit, we can't come back. And I think there's so many people who are like, well, it's not affecting me, it's not going to affect my kids, my grandkids, my great-grandkids. But once we get to a point where we can't stop it, it's just going to keep going and getting worse. And I think I kind of reduced the stress because I know that there's other people out there who care, and they know how serious it is. So I know I'm not the only one who freaks out about it or gets stressed. There's many other people, and I know that other people are taking steps to do that. And I think a big step that we need to take is educating the children younger than us. Because, I mean, climate change was brought up to us when we were like maybe preteen years, teen years, and we're just now taking it really seriously. But if we maybe write children books for the kids, and they read them, and then they realize just from such a young age how serious it is, they'll grow up knowing this is a problem, we have to fix it. So I think we just need to educate the younger kids and ourselves and move forward.
I completely agree with Rachel with a lot of it. Of course, it stresses me out because I see it happening just in recent years. But also what kind of helps me de-stress is that I know I'm doing my part. I'm doing what I can. I walk as much as I can. But also what also helps me is that bigger companies are taking notice. And it's going to take time, though, to change our energy sources, and we might not have that kind of time. So it's hopeful and scary at the same time. Like Amazon, they hope to be green by 2050, but do we have that kind of time? And another thing is like the CTA, they're going with the greener buses, right? But while that's a step in the right direction, we need more companies to realize their wrongs. They're throwing out pounds of food a day because it's not good, and they don't allow employees to take it home. A lot of them fire employees for taking food and giving it out because it's a potential lawsuit. It's stuff like that it's more than just regular people. It's also super big companies that are worldwide that need to wake up too, because they're a lot more of the problem than we are. I mean, I know that the common man, like, you know, together we do a lot, but big companies, if they're so worried about everything going on and they want to make more money, they can't make money if people are dead. So you got to change your ways.
She went on a whole rant.
Tell those big companies, Sam. Tell
Power to Sam.
I don't really get stressed about it because the way how I think about it is that it all comes back to economics and how much money can renewable sources make, how much money can just fossil fuels make. And I already know that fossil fuels is cheap. Oil is cheaper than solar panels and nuclear. So, and even like renewables and nuclear is they're getting better and better, but countries are still not investing in it like they should. Like I watched a video on like how nuclear energy is not that bad, and compared to fossil fuels, it doesn't make that much waste. So it's just economics always.
I would like to add to Rachel's point where she said about the children's book and starting at a young age, how, like, we all know, like, when we were younger, because our parents would be driving the car, they'd said, no turning on the back car light.
They told me that was illegal.
Yes.
Yeah,
I swear
Even
to God, I used
if-
to be so scared.
Even if kids, we should have like that mindset for the kids that they think it's so bad that they don't do it, that it becomes a habit, that they're like, I can't do this. But if somebody tells them like, hey, nothing's gonna happen, there's proof and statistics that something will happen, and they can look it up for their own, and they could be like, nah, you're wrong, and then they look it up, and it's an actual problem. So once we have that big impact on the little ones, it'll be big for their whole life.
I think Earth Day ties a lot into that because,
Yeah.
like, I know Earth Day was created in, like, the 70s, but I think it was also like hey, guys, you know, we kind of need to take care of this place. So I think that starting off at a small age for more than just a day would be good.
So, climate change probably isn't something you talk casually with your friends about. It's complex, scary, and can make us feel hopeless and powerless. It's important not to keep these feelings in. Rather, we should acknowledge and talk openly about how our changing environment makes us feel. So that's it. That's it for
Yes,
episode
sir.
3.
God brought up a great point. She said, parents should tell us not to turn on the back light. Oh, we still recording?
No, make sure you're talking to the mic.
Like, to this day, I still don't turn on the back light.
All right. Well, that's it. That's all we have. Hope you
All
join
right.
us next week.
Bye.
Very
And
good.
we out.
Adios.
Our
Keystone out.